Ooh, good morning. Midwest Cannabis. Eighth like. Good job, man. Way to come in eighth. Sounds like somebody who's on a lot of cannabis. All right, let me pull it up here. Looks like we're live. We're going. Okay, so I'm gonna have a completely counter position. I feel like every day for like the last week, it's been like, hey guys, we're going up. Hey guys, we're going down. Hey guys, we're going up. Today's the down. And we'll talk about why I think that might be happening and just the reasons behind it. Again, guys, technicals only give you so much in life. Am I dumping PayPal? Nah, I don't give a shit about the honey thing. I don't fucking care at all. That's not enough for their business model. I don't think it's that pressing. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it brings in a lot of revenue for the company either way. So I'm not worried about it. That could be the wrong move. Maybe I don't understand it well enough. I watched the videos. I've listened to a bunch of people comment about it, and I don't care. But let's get to the point. So a couple things. First off, again, I don't want to give all the work that Fundstrat puts out there, but I do want to say this. FS Insight's Mark Newton wrote an article, or actually just did a video too, yesterday, warning of potential resistance because of the current setup in the S&P, and also market breadth issues, and just how the S&P, the QQQ, are outperforming and doing a lot better than like the Dow Jones, transportation, industrial sectors, which have just been brutalized. And a lot of people say they've said this for a long time. It's not always as relevant. It kind of is though for the real economy, that the transportation sector leads all, right? So we'll be talking about that and some of the thoughts behind that. And if you haven't looked at Bitcoin this morning, it didn't do super great. It isn't doing super great. If we look, we'll pull it up on the big screen here. So, and I'll talk about my post in a little more detail here in a second, okay? So again, we got the support line here. We had this beautiful move, and in my post yesterday, here's what I said. I said if Bitcoin can hold 99,000 to 100,000 range over the next few days, we should close the week in bullish territory. This could still happen. The week is not over, okay? All I'm warning people about today is that we got slammed down hard yesterday. And I want to talk more about, again, Michael Howell and global liquidity. And global liquidity has been retracting, even just the basic form of it, looking at M2, not even looking at the, yield, non-yield curve control, yield curve control, and the other terms that Michael Howell uses all the time just to say that the Fed is doing things to loosen, or the Treasury is doing things to, keep liquidity going and to make it to where bond yields on the long end of the curve aren't going up. All these fun things. But even when you don't look at his stuff, which has been showing for months now that liquidity is drawing down, even though we heard China talk about doing $411 billion USD, 2 to 3 trillion, whatever that is, and the Chinese yuan. The thing is, they have to monetize it. They have to turn it into actual. It's got to be money that enters the supply and gets fucking spent. And the big problem that China has is Xi Jinping doesn't like giving people money because he doesn't believe that the power comes from the people. He believes it comes from the institution of the Communist Party. That's problematic. It's very problematic because if you don't ever let the money enter the system and monetize it, then it does no good. And that's one of the fears I have heading into Q1, is that they need to learn this lesson. I have been watching a lot of news though, guys, on Chinese television like CGTN and some other communist China-backed news organizations, and I'm hearing these guys even talk about how they need to follow how the Chinese government needs to try things like Keynesian economics, which they've kind of already been doing, but again, some of the stuff that Michael Howell's talking about, where they need to try and monetize the debt issuance that they're doing, so that they can get it in the money supply and get people spending and actually get their economy to recover. And I don't think any of it helps no matter what, but they do need to do that. We need to see liquidity expand. We need to see it expand in the United States. And right now we're kind of at a dry point, right? Because do you think the Biden administration wants to expand global liquidity or expand liquidity and M2 money supply and any of this stuff right now? They don't give a shit. They don't care about trying to help the economy right now. If anything, they want to see it do bad for the next couple of years, 4 years. They want to see it do bad because they want to gain power again. So, and you have them revising a bunch of data points. We'll look at those in a little bit, showing how much worse unemployment was and how during times where they, again, they said that we were at like up 650,000 jobs, we were actually negative. Just some things we already know. But again, it's very important. We can't just look at things in isolation and be like, hey, the market went up really strong on an impulse with low liquidity yesterday, or, the day before yesterday in a fucking holiday week. And that means everything is okay. It's not yet. And so again, we didn't make it to the 99,000. Okay. We didn't make it. We did for like a minute, and we got above this. I even posted yesterday. We got above this. We got above the peak volumes yesterday. We got above it, but then we didn't hold it. And then we got slammed back down, and now we're sitting on this. We're sitting on this 50 moving average, just waiting to roll over. And if you do the measured move on this, it gets us into the 80s. It gets us right where this volume is over on the side over here. It gets us right near close to where the 100 moving average is on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, and just areas that are very doable. And so we got a lot of weird things right now. I think retail sales are still good. I think it's been a good holiday shopping season. Today, for economic data, we're going to have initial jobless claims continuing in the 4-week average. We're going to be talking about the money supply at 10. I'll be gone before then. I'm not going to lie. So we'll see that number later. But again, the U.S. doesn't live in isolation. There is the entire rest of the world, and China has not been doing their part for global liquidity. And if you're subscribed to Michael Howell, you know that. They've fallen off a cliff. And I showed you guys data. I showed you guys data last week with Michael Howell here, showing that, right? Like right here. Look at this. Look at this. And I don't want to show his work all the time. I want people to subscribe to it. He's brilliant. I've tried to post a lot about his work. I think I'm probably his number one fan and advocate on X. But again, World Economic Momentum and PBOC, that's People's Bank of China liquidity injections, plus 3 months. So he's showing you where we are. And you can kind of see the pattern with liquidity and how things can gyrate, especially on big moves up. And then you see what the GDP does for their country, or the world economic GDP, I guess, in this chart. And so you can see how the PBOC in black, pumps a lot of liquidity. What happens? This thing goes up. Then they dump a lot of liquidity, got a major dump here. And then they pump a lot of liquidity, and it leads. They pump a lot of liquidity, and then the GDP goes way up. And then they start to cut back, and then it plummets. And then they pump a bunch, and then it goes up a little bit. And then they cut back, and it plummets. And then they pump a little bit more, and it doesn't do as much. And then it drops. And then they pump a shit ton of liquidity in this black line here, and you see it go up. So again, it's this, and the stock market tracks this stuff too. We're going to look at it in a second here, okay? Perry Shelton says, do you think there's a lag effect when new M2 money is introduced? Yes, there is. There's a reason why he does this plus 3 month on here to represent it, and that's also something I'm going to show you in a Bloomberg chart here in a second. But again, look at this right here. So, and this has been pretty flatlined because, again, there's been some major impulses up, major impulses down, major impulses up in liquidity, major impulses down, major impulses up. But if you look at it here, this is the 0 mark right here, okay? So really, we haven't seen a level of contraction like this for a while. The drop in liquidity right here is a number we haven't seen since the beginning of 2023. And the U.S. and other parts of the world were actually offsetting a ton of that back then. But they're not. Outside of loosening conditions where they're lowering rates and doing other stuff, there's not a lot of money printing going on around the world right now. Because, again, they created all that inflation before. They don't want to do that again. So this is something that can pull us down, and I think people need to be aware of it. We do have the Michael Saylor put. We got the Michael Saylor put. So, I mean, if he's probably going to buy Bitcoin on Monday every week till the end of time. He's gonna dilute his shareholders by 31x and by $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin by some estimates over the next 4 years. So he's putting a floor in for us. And again, we don't have to go down this far. I'm just saying from a technical level, the setup we have from macro, and we'll look at the Dow Jones and the S&P and the other stuff. We got resistance levels. Here's the thing. Bitcoin usually runs first. It's in all hours of the market, all parts of the world. And if things are getting ready to happen, Bitcoin will usually tell you the story. and Bitcoin crashed pretty hard last night. And I think that you'll see the way this looks. I mean, don't get me wrong. We could go back up again. Maybe we still get above this. Maybe the weekly closes above it. Even then, we're not 100% out until we trade. We need time. We need time right now to tell us the story. It could be a week of time. It could be 2 weeks of time before we roll over. It could totally be that. It's probably sooner, though, because the steepness of this 50 moving average is really strong. This purple line right here, this is the same in all my charts, guys. 50 moving average, simple moving average is purple. Yellow is the 100. This orange color is the 200. The 200, yeah, always want to stay above, especially on the weekly time frame. But yes, the daily too, because when you get under that and that turns into resistance, you're officially in a bear market of some kind, right? With the weekly, to be clear, for that part. And so the technicals look like shit. The global liquidity looks like shit. And the Dow Jones and S&P look like they're hitting resistance. And let's just look at some of that. So today, though, still, Tesla holding on. Thank you, Tesla. Thank you, Tesla. This is one company that I think is going to help hold us up. And to be clear, what am I doing today? I've got over $300,000 in cash. I was going to use that to pay bills. If you guys remember, I sold Bitfarms before it dropped on Tuesday, and then or Monday. I don't know, one of those days, and kept that as liquidity. Then I bought on the drop when MicroStrategy was going down. I bought, and CleanSpark was plummeting, and all these things were getting hit really hard. I bought into that, and but I still have cash. I had the cash because I wanted to be able to buy or pay off bills at the beginning of the year. And that's still the goal. But I will dump that fucking cash into MicroStrategy and a few other things, like maybe Mara and then also CleanSpark. I probably won't buy calls, or if I do, it'll be a small portion because I need to de-risk. I've got a lot of money in calls with that July date, and you don't put all your eggs in one basket, so I'll probably just buy stock for all three of these things. I won't lever in too much, okay? Plus, if we do drop to 80K and we don't get an insta bounce because the economy is dragging, right? Like the economy's, or I shouldn't say, there's narratives of negativeness around Trump and what the Doge group are going to be able to do at the beginning of the year. There's tax selling at the beginning of the year because people want to pay bills like myself. And then at the same time, the global liquidity drawdowns and all this other stuff. I could just see a bearish narrative being really strong. And to the person, whoever the fuck it was, who said, oh, what, now you're bearish and we're going to 80K again? Where's this coming from? Watch my fucking market opens and actually pay attention to my posts. I've been talking for like over a week about concerns. I literally reduced $2.3 million in leverage because of fucking concerns I have to the downside. If you're too retarded to understand that I've been warning about potential concerns for a while and that we're in this weird place, I don't know. That's not my problem. It's yours. And anybody else who feels that way, unsubscribe. Don't fucking pay me. Don't follow me. I don't give a shit. Okay? I'm doing this as a service to try and help people. If you don't see it, that's perfectly fine. Leave. It's that simple. That's all you got to do. Just leave. If you don't appreciate it or you don't see it, just fucking go away. I should probably take this off. But anyway, so that's still going to happen. We're still getting to 150K. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin, okay? I'm not. I'm super bullish on Bitcoin. I'm super bullish on Tesla. I'm super bullish on the USA. I'm just saying different narratives take power at different times, which is probably why MicroStrategy's down 3.17% after going up 8 Tuesday. So again, it is what it is. I can't help you with your emotions if you can't help yourself. Okay. All right, let's keep going here. So I said we really need Saylor, but it would also be smarter to wait and for him and do the buying at much lower cost basis. So I don't know, man. And then we listen to this. Here's a Bloomberg crypto article from today, 9 hours ago. Bitcoin rose on Thursday after the digital assets stockpiler MicroStrategy announced a plan. What day is today? What day is today? Is it fucking Thursday? Did Bitcoin fucking rise today? This is the kind of quality shit you get from Bloomberg. 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 This is supposed to be like one of the top standards for financial information. And the guy in his basement can tell you that Bitcoin didn't fucking go up today. Anyway, we got stuff to talk about. Let's keep going. It's going to be a good day. I mean, it might not be for the markets, but whatever. All right, let's keep going. Oh, hey, I like this guy. I'm just going to do one of those. If you guys want to add some comments in here, if you don't hate me because I'm talking about the potential of going to 80K today, then go ahead and hit a like. So again, I got 300,000 in cash. I got an order for about $230,000 to buy MicroStrategy and the 280s. I think 286 is what I have right now. I might even lower the target on that. We'll see. But for now, that's where it is. Let me see here real quick. A lot of stuff to talk to, but there's one thing I wanted to point out, and I should probably just go into my post. That's probably the better place because that's where I pulled it from. All right. So, and again, in here, so my newer post, I said I gave the bad news, right? Like the technicals could drop us down. So I said, so what have we learned from getting smacked down after getting propped up on Tuesday? A, it made us have a good Christmas. So I got to thank the market makers for giving us some Christmas spirit heading into Christmas Day. I think that's fucking wonderful. Next, Michael Howell has been right to caution us about the drop in global liquidity from the first half of the year, the end of this year into the first half. And then Saylor has to save us, and he will. Again, he's given us a put. It's going to be great. Now, there's another comment down here I think I need to talk to. Somebody said, Jesse, will you relocate or reallocate your position in MicroStrategy, CleanSpark, or other miners? And I said, my focus will be adding MicroStrategy and probably CLSK stock on a major drop. So again, I'm not looking to do leverage right now, but I'm looking to buy stock. Let's see what else we got here. There's another one. There's another post. Right here. Here's a good one. So this person said, do you think this is a move that is needed or something more ominous, said Kane. I said, I think it's inevitable with global liquidity for M2 and less apparent forms of lacking across the global stage for a while. Less apparent liquidity. Yeah, I could have worded that better. Anyway, still in the camp that we have a market scare in Q1 and then see a strong bounce out of that when China and the rest of the world have to stimulate and in China's case actually monetize their spending in a way that gets it to the people. I think they have to do that. I'm listening to their commentators talking about it. I said, I've been hearing this more and more out of Chinese commentators for a while, even though Xi Jinping hates this idea and it goes against everything the central state believes. Now, somebody here said, Jesse, this stopped updating in September this is the XBT USD cross rate. Ignore that. Just think Bitcoin. And then also the white is global liquidity. Now, they differ this, in this case, by 10 weeks to give you an idea of kind of when things line up. Yeah, we can check CleanSpark. I mean, CleanSpark's already fell a lot. It's got that going for it, Clarence. But yeah, so again, there's a 10-week disparity where they move this to show you that global liquidity goes first. So they've moved, and this is outdated. I just grabbed it real quick to show it to you. It only goes through 12/10 of 2024, but it hasn't changed much, okay? There's a guy, Consorti something, I can't remember his name. He posts this all the time, and this isn't the best way to look at global liquidity because it's only one factor, M2. There's so many other things that treasury departments and central banks do, and our own Fed to manipulate liquidity, okay? And then I think the banking system, I differ a little bit from Michael Howell in regard to debt issuance and how I believe that is monetization and its impact on the markets. I differ a little bit from Michael Howell, but he's definitely smarter than me. But I think that it has more impact than he seems to allude to. But if you look here, this is the trend. And this is very similar on a lot of Michael Howell's charts too, is that it's been dropping hard and it's been doing it for a while. So if we track this out with Bitcoin's price, and again, this doesn't look much different now, it's just over a couple more weeks, then we're going to see that same kind of thing. And so I think the likelihood when I'm looking, and it's not just this, guys, if we go over, again, let's look at the S&P. So the S&P had a great day over here. But if you look at the volume above it and where it stopped. And then today it's dropping back down, okay? So you have that. You had a great impulse, but it didn't quite get over the hump. If we got up here, or if we got up here into the 6,100 range, then it's like, oh shit, it's game on. But we've got the largest amount of volume going all the way back to the support levels here in October at 5,700. Okay. BGZ, appreciate the alpha and summary of cross-border. Oh, you're welcome. And I've still got to do a video of his because he covers so much, and I think it's important that you guys see it. So I'll try and do that this week, if nothing else, by the weekend, because I want you guys to get like my take and his take. And I think you need an interpreter for a lot of people when you're watching him. I did for like a half a year before I could start to really understand him by Googling all the terms, going back and listening to the video like 5 fucking times, and then listening to a bunch of other commentary from people that had differing views or similar. I've just had to really delve into it to get a better understanding, because it's not for your average like person. It's not easily digested information. So I will try and do my best to help with that kind of stuff. Again, MicroStrategy down 3.6% right now. But so the S&P had a nice little bounce here. But if we look, let's just pull up the Dow. DJI, do I have it under there? Yeah, okay. So here's just the Dow Jones Industrial. This isn't transportation. But let's look and see how it's doing. Not as good. Not as good. So if you look here, it's rolling over more. It's not. So let's give you a visual representation. So like, look at this. Look at how the Dow did for a while, right? Let's just draw this. So it went up, and it's done a really good job staying above that like kind of medium trend. Actually, let's just draw it here. So look at that. Look at that. So it let's just do it as a support zone thing. That'll be more fun. It's probably a better look. So it stayed above support. Then it broke down. Then it tried to get up. Then it can't get up. Compare that to the S&P, which bounced fucking hard, or the QQQ, the NASDAQ too. Let me just pull that up. Let me look at the NASDAQ. It's close enough. Look at the NASDAQ. Look how beautiful that shit looks, right? And that's the monthly. Let's be fair. But again, look at that bounce. Look at that bounce. I got to move some of this over, but look at how good that is. That's a gorgeous looking bounce, guys. So these look good, right? But some of the main drivers of the economy, the Dow Jones transportation and the industrial sectors don't look as good as the NASDAQ, the tech sector, and also the S&P, the major companies. And again, market breadth has sucked. I don't want to pull up all of Fundstrat's work, but I'll just show you this for like just a second. So this is the article that I'm talking about from Mark Newton. This is the kind of stuff you're missing if you're not subscribed to this. And he said the rally we're encountering could hit resistance. And he talks about all the details of his thoughts behind it. Again, I don't want to pull it all up because that's their proprietary work. But you could see some of this resistance in here. And look, now Tesla's only up by 0.73, right? It's getting hit more and more and more, guys. It's getting hit more and more and more. We're just seeing it dial down. This is just like Tuesday when, what did I tell you Tuesday? I'm like, guys, we're going up. I said it in the early morning, and what did we do? We fucking skyrocketed. Now I'm telling you, guys, we're going down. And what are we starting to do? We're starting to go down. And so again, Kevin, hey, welcome, my friend. Appreciate you for subbing here. I hope you get a lot of value from it. You can ask questions, certainly. Tautilus, it's your daytime, 24 hours like us. You manage so much data that I think you read 2x. I actually watch, I watch videos at 3x speed if I can. You could do that on X. And then I do it at 2x speed on YouTube because I don't have enough time to digest all the information without doing that. So yeah, I kind of do. I have to. There's just no other way to keep up. I'm only one person. Kevin S., I have a $300 June 2026 call on MSTR. Should I bail and get back in later? It's up to you, man. It's up. Again, this is probably going to happen fast. I don't think we're going to drop. I think we're going to drop quick. I hate to tell people to sell. I'm not selling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not selling. If I sell anything, I'll probably sell a little bit of Tesla along the way. But I'm going to use that $300,000 in cash, and I'm going to buy. So this isn't the time where I start pulling out a lot of funds, except, again, I did that to pay bills, and just conveniently I have cash available. Otherwise, I'd probably be in Maybe not. And again, but I've dialed out of leverage. I've reduced my risk. I've done all those things for a reason. I think MicroStrategy though. So here, I will say this, Kevin. June of 2026 for MicroStrategy, way too fucking far out. So should you get out of it for that reason alone? I would. And I don't know how long you've owned that, but what you're expecting right there with that $300 price target is you're saying for sure Bitcoin is going to go on from its 4-year cycle and continue to go up for sure, because you're way beyond the time frame of every 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycles should end for this year, it should end in Q4. That's when it ends. Every 4 years, that's when it ends, Q4. So you're saying, I believe it'll go past that all the way to the end of Q2. That's dangerous to me, but you do you. If I was getting back in, though, I wouldn't even use the leverage on the calls, honestly, man. I would just buy the fucking MicroStrategy. At this stage in the game, I don't believe in applying a lot of leverage. You start to dial out of it. And the way the timing's working with Q4, with the end of this last month where we're expecting the big rally and we're not getting it. And then I believe some pain in early Q1 across a lot of Bitcoin related stuff too. And probably crypto. I don't think I like, this is where I wouldn't even apply leverage anymore outside of my like one play for CleanSpark. And I will only add probably really anything in regard to calls to that. If we drop to 80,000 on Bitcoin, then I will. So those are my 2 cents. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some loser in his basement who happens to be rich from investing. So, and I think I have some valuable insights, but I can't give people individual financial advice. I didn't even graduate high school. So there's no way they're going to let me give financial advice to people. Barack, hey Jesse, how are you? I'm planning to buy January 2026 calls 600 for Tesla. Do you think it'll come back in some period? I own June 2026s for Tesla. Mine are much lower at 330s. Personally, myself, again, not financial advice, but if I was looking at this, I wouldn't be going in balls deep right now into that. And I would probably choose a lower target just to be safe. I would choose more time, like again, June, I think it's June 2026 or July, whatever I have. And if you haven't watched my Options 101 video, look at that. My targets would be lower with Tesla. Let me just show real quick here, and then I'll get back to some other stuff I want to talk about. So Tesla's done great. It's going to continue to do great. And I actually think I think we hit 900 probably by June of 2026. But it might be safer to pick a target like 500 or 6. Yeah, well, 600 might be. I mean, shit, we're not that far away anymore. You might be able to do a 600, but here's the difference, man. Here's the difference. Yeah, Sailor's taking a holiday. That's the problem, Jesse. But here's the difference. I would add more time and get it out to at least June or July. And I would maybe not buy it right now because I think even Tesla could take a hit. Tesla's a great company. People are starting to wake up to it. It could go up. It could manage to still go up. But I think the leveraged plays at the very least will take a hit. So my plan, if Tesla takes a hit, guys, what I'll do is kind of the same thing, you see me do all the time. Let me just pull this down real quick here. So I will do this. I will take, so right now I got like a little over 2.3 million in Tesla. Maybe a little more this morning. I've got 407,000 in calls alone that went up 16% just since I bought them. Again, I rebalanced all this stuff because I sold out of all my longs. But then when it dropped hard on Monday or Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday, then I dialed back in, right? But I will sell some of the Tesla stock that I have, the 1.85 million. I got a little more than that. Maybe it's closer to 1.9 with all my accounts. It might even be more. I don't know. But I'll take that and I'll sell some of it. And I would, if Tesla dropped, I'll probably dial into more of these. And I'm only picking 330s, and it's insane, right? Why would I pick 330s? It only gives me a 2x the underlying asset from where we are right now. But that's what I'm going to dial into. I'm not looking to get too aggressive with Tesla. I want to be a little bit concerned about what's going on in the world. But I will take the 300,000 I have in cash. I'll buy the shit out of MicroStrategy. And then I'll sell Tesla if we start getting crushed this next quarter. I'll sell Tesla stock and I'll buy more options. That's my game plan. This is how I do it. Hey, Jesse, please share Hood. I like Hood too, man. I really like Vlad. I love Vlad. We can look at that too. Still holding leverage calls and play. I am, and I'm still going to hold them because of the return. It's because of the return. They could get hit too. I haven't seen that honey news with the influencers and kind of how they appear to have a scammy path of removing codes and then paying themselves. I mean, it's definitely sketch. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely sketch, and we'll see how it plays out. But I love this play still because it's an asymmetric bet, right? Like if I can get 5 to 10x the underlying move and PayPal goes up 50% and I can make anywhere, from 100 to 250%. I love that. And I still think that PayPal is going to have a really good Q4. And I still think there's opportunity for this thing to play out all right over the next year. So I got 13 months on this one, and or 12 and a half. Let's just say that. That's probably fair. And I believe it's going to do it. So I'm not selling out of this one. I'm also not adding to it because it's a decent chunk of money. If it got really beat up, though, and I think markets are getting ready to turn around, you'll probably see me putting money into this, maybe into ARKG, probably into Clean Spark, even though it's a shorter time frame. Or maybe I'll pick a September one or something if they're out there for Clean Spark to give myself a little more time. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But I do still love a few asymmetric leverage bets. But again, I was sitting on 60% leverage or something. No, it's probably like 50, 55. And then I removed 2.3 million of it. And I'm feeling a lot better right now on a drop. So that's the game plan though, guys. That's what I'm looking to do. Hopefully that gives you some insight into my thought process here. Somebody said they wanted to see Hood. I will do charts. Give me a little bit of time here. Yeah, you know what? I'll do that first. I'll do it first. You guys want to see charts? We'll do it first here. I know some people are scared. They want to see what the charts look like. I get it. All right, so Hood looking good. Down 0.9%. But again, would it be crazy for Hood to go back here down to 34, 35 and kind of test? This would almost be a bull flag, guys. Like, look at this. Let's say that Hood, let's just say this. Let's ignore that. Let's do this right here. It's almost like it's a falling broadening wedge, really. It's like a falling broadening wedge, but that's bullish too. It's not as perfect because you kind of don't have a clean picture of the bottom and it can drop further. But this is kind of what I'm seeing. Or you could just say a descending broadening wedge and call it something like this, right? You could call it this too. But the floor to me is probably down here in like this 34 range. And that would be a great buying opportunity. And then I think you're going to go higher. I think this one is going to pull a Palantir. I don't know how long Palantir is Palantir. Yeah, sorry, Celis. MSTU and MSTX are shit, man. If we're trading down, if we're chopping or trading down, you're getting fucked on those. So it's just, it is what it is, unfortunately. Amit, hey, Jesse, what are your thoughts? That's why I got out. I was trying to tell myself that they were going to be okay. And then finally, I just had to succumb to the fact that I made the wrong move. And I shouldn't have fucking ever been in it. It is what it is, I'm a human being. I don't like either of them. I think both of them are painful right now. They might be a better option if we get absolutely smashed with Bitcoin, and let's say we trade down over the next month. I might actually get into one of those again. I might, because if MicroStrategy really gets crushed, that might be an interesting buy to put a little bit in that levered play for a short period of time and then sell the fuck out of it right away as it goes up, just to get an extra multiplier. But otherwise, they're dangerous. Crystal, you got a long ass name, girl. Hey, Jesse, could you do Celsius? Yeah, I could take a look at that. But yeah, so this one looks kind of cool, right? That doesn't look bad. What time is it? It's almost 7:32, guys. I'll do Celsius real quick here, and then we'll probably get over and listen to these guys talk about the initial jobless claims and all that shit. Celsius, I don't love right here. This is bad. It should be good, but it's not. It's actually bad. So this thing went up 670% since what? 2022. That was a good number. But the problem is we can still go lower here. We could still go to 22 where this volume shelf is. And we're under the 200 moving average on the weekly. Remember how I said you're in the bear? This is in the bear. And if the broader market is going to suck, this thing had bearish divergence, guys. This was one I was screaming danger, danger on for a long time, and nobody listened to me. There's bearish divergence on the RSI since 2021. Yes, I can do PayPal too. 2021, this thing's been telling you it could go lower, and now it finally did. This is their PayPal moment. And it's not as bad. Well, I mean, shit, it is. They went down 73%. But it could go down 78, 80% in total. It could go down into these low 20s. It's dangerous. I mean, it was dangerous. This double top up here was very clear. And I warned people about it. And I'd say most of them probably didn't listen. It's just how it works. Human psychology is fucking strange, man. We're all wired, like, emotionally. We're all little cave people. All right, let's look over here. Oh, we got a post. All right, so PayPal, guys. PayPal actually isn't too bad. We have support right where we're at. Could break through it. Gets supportier in the low 80s. But this trend is very nice. First support, 83, 84. Next support down here near 80. I'm going to see what Final Countdown just posted. What's up, broski? Final Countdown's been around a long time. He's been one of the OGs in my space. Oh, it's gone. This page doesn't exist. I don't know what the article was. Maybe I don't have access to it. It might be somebody who's blocked me. Some people hate me. Tezos, deliveries next week for Tesla. Yes, dude, I love Tesla's done good. We're going to talk about Tesla in a bit. Let's get over to economic data, though. We got about 2 minutes. There's actually some sales and delivery stuff I want to show you about Tesla. This is Sparta. Is Square looking good in your eyes? I think, yeah, last time I checked, it looked pretty good. Let me pull it up. I got to get my other Stream Deck up over here so I can get to things quicker. Again, the measure move on this thing, it wants to go to 200. It's doing a back test right now on the fib again. This is beautiful, guys. So it pumped up over here, then it dropped down, formed its right shoulder. I should do this my standard color, a light blue. And then it back tested now and tested the head and shoulders again. It could grind around here, could even go underneath of it for a second and then back up. But this is just getting ready to continue. I think Square looks really good. Maybe Square is something I should look at buying too. I'll have to check. If we get crushed for a month, remind me to look at Square calls, guys. We need to check them out. All right, back to economic data. We got about 50 seconds on that. If you had money in MSTU, would you take a loss now and sell? Yeah, I would. I mean, I did, right? I did. I would have, I probably would have taken it and sold out and moved it over into MSTR Tuesday because you would have been better off for it. But I don't know. It's so hard, man, because here I could say that, and then you know what could happen? The week isn't over yet. Maybe Bitcoin bounces up. Maybe it ends up going higher. Technicals, like even the fundamentals and technicals together combined sometime aren't 100% signal. It's just not how life works. So it's hard to know, dude. Do you know what the multiplier is? This is Sparta for your calls, like what you're expecting for performance versus the underlying. I can look it up too. I was just curious if you knew. Jonathan Shivers, would you rotate out of PayPal into Square? No. Last I checked, PayPal has a much better return. I wouldn't rotate out. I wouldn't. What about MSTX? MSTX and MSTU have the same problem, man. If MicroStrategy gets crushed today because Bitcoin rolls over, or this week or next week, and all you do is trade sideways for MSTU and MSTX for another couple of weeks and then roll over, you're just going to fucking bleed. You're going to bleed so bad. All right, we got data. Let's look here. 219,000 for initial jobs. That's actually better than forecast and consensus. That's good. That's good. Continuing jobless claims is higher, though. Previous was 1.864. The new is 1.91, which is higher than consensus and forecast. So that sucks. That means people are staying unemployed for longer. Jobless 4-week average also inched higher. slightly higher than forecast and higher than previous. So what we're saying here is we're seeing less. It's kind of good and bad. We're seeing less people losing their jobs, but more people not being able to find new ones, which could kind of be like a precursor to something bad. Miklos, would you rotate Mara or SMLR into MSTR? I don't know. SMLR, I'd be a little worried about because I think last time I checked on that one, it was at a 3x premium to its NAV, and MicroStrategy is like 1.9. So I would think SMLR is rich, but Mara is also pretty beaten up. So I don't know if it's much worse than MicroStrategy. And Mara actually has a better NAV. If you just look at that, it has a better NAV than MSTR right now. So I don't know. SMLR, Simler Scientific would be the one I'd be worried about. Second Jobs. Hey, Jesse, do you hold Bitcoin spot? Yes, I don't talk about it, though. Toby171, good morning, Jesse. Was on at the open. Did you look at snow? The stock? Or is it snowing? Clarence Chan, Jesse, what about BTBT, Bit Digital? Do they hold Bitcoin? I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say they don't. Let me just go over. I hate to steal his work, but I'm just going to do it for a second. If you guys don't subscribe to Sebastian Ski and you're into miners, you're missing lots of analytic data, guys. He's an easy sub to me. Easy sub. Look at the wealth of information this guy has in his spreadsheets. I was originally going to do like a weekly show on mining, and I was going to take like my own proprietary work, but why the fuck do it with everything he does? Like, look at this. Look at all this data. It's just stupid. It's retarded how much he keeps track of for us. So I don't see any point in it. Let's go though. Let's see. Bitfarms, BitDeer. Is BitDeer or is it Bit Digital? Which one is BTBT, guys? Is it this one? I don't remember off the top of my head. Let's see though. Either way though, these guys don't have Bitcoin, and I hate that. No, this is BTDR. That's what I thought. Okay, BTBT. Does he even track that one? If he doesn't track it, then I really don't give a shit about it. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, I don't care. I don't know. Do they have a lot of Bitcoin? If they don't have Bitcoin, then I just doubly hate it. Do they have Bitcoin? Do they have a Bitcoin stack? If they don't have a Bitcoin stack, I don't care. Ethereum. Yeah, we could look at Ethereum. It probably sucks too. The shit coins are probably just going to get smoked. They're going to take it in the ass. Yeah, they are. Fartcoin took it in the ass. I saw it disappear off this. That's poetic. Yeah, I mean, if you want to know, and here's the deal, guys. Let's change it from USD to Bitcoin. Let's see who's doing better right now. So there's a couple that are doing good. There's a couple that are beating Bitcoin here on the weekly. Let's check the daily. There's less beating Bitcoin on the daily. So there's a couple of winners. You got a couple of winners and like 85% losers. Separate sheet he sends. He tracks it on small miners. Okay. Do they have a lot of Bitcoin though? See, I worry about small miners. I don't even like small miners. The big ones are getting fucked. I can't even imagine. That's another reason why it's like, okay, if I'm selling anything, I'm selling Bitfarms, which I did. Because if the big miners can't even get a bid, how the fuck is anybody going to care about the small ones that are less competitive? You know what I mean? How are they going to care? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just don't see. Yeah, I don't care about Bit Digital. Let's look though. Let's pull up Ethereum. And then I got a lot of news. I got positive news too, guys. It's not just all doom and gloom. And again, we could go up. We could bounce around. We could chop for a week. I can pull up HIMS. I like their shampoo. I haven't done anything else. ETH down 4.4%. Yeah, I'd say it's having a bad day. This reminds me of the song, Had a Bad Day. It's about as bad as Bitcoin, though, just a little bit worse. Bitcoin's down 4.1%. This is down 4.3, 4.4. But again, like you could say this is a head and shoulder or an inverse head and shoulders that's getting ready to start, though. Let me just show you. This is actually probably a good thing. We'll just call it a double right here. Doesn't have to be a double. Or actually, no, we need to draw it the right way. This is what it is. I was retarded. I've been told that people don't use that word anymore and that I am outdated, which might explain why I'm 47. That's it. I am outdated. You're right. Good call, guys. All right. So could we do something like this? Could we do something like this? I think so, because there's a big volume shelf over here. So could we do something like this? And I'm drawing a little wide, so I probably got to zoom it in. Can we do something where maybe we find support on the 50 or break down here for just a quick wick into this 28,200 range? Seems doable, doesn't it? And then, and if that happened, and again, I probably shouldn't draw this much longer because it usually doesn't work that way. They're usually similar time frames. But could this be like it's kind of I don't want to say retarded again. All right, so I need to draw it down to the actual wick, though, because if you look here, you can see these, right? So it's a little bit, so this makes it look better. This is what you want to see. You want to see something a little better. You want to see, because this is pretty deep. You usually don't want the shoulders to be that deep. They can be, but maybe something like this plays out where it drops a little bit further, gets into the twos, and then we see a launch out of this that gets us up to like, these are my in-between targets. So my max target is like 10K. And then I think we get at least to 65. This is probably about what I think we can get. So if for a longer time frame, if you got some patience, that's what I think this can do. I don't think Ethereum is the strongest horse by any means. I would personally like Solana way better. But and Ethereum's just a lot bigger of a horse. You got to remember this. Let me save this real quick. If we look over here and we do market cap, so there's little Solana with, what is it? What does it have for a cap? Oh, I've got this in BTC. Let me fix this. Let me fix it to US dollar. I want to be a little more fair in the representation. So market cap is 90 billion. And then we look at Ethereum and it's 402. And then XRP, just a piece of shit. Remember all those people that are like, XRP going to the moon? Because we got up here at 270 and I was like, oh, you guys are fucked. It's not actually doing much better. It's not doing horrible. It's getting ready to roll over, though. Toby 171, they had 1,038 in May, sold 450 to expand, now back to 813. I hate that. I hate companies. That's your favorite, Oak? Okay, good. Well, then I'll keep it. And if anybody has relatives who have Down syndrome, I apologize. I've actually got friends that have that same situation. I do not use it around them because I don't want to be offensive to them. So I'm not a complete dick. It's just something I've said my entire life, okay? And I'm old. And you can teach a dog new tricks, but only so far. Okay? Only so far. Anyway, so my whole point here is that with Sol at 90 billion and ETH at 402, which one has the ability to give you a higher return? It's going to be Sol. And Sol has higher traffic. It's got all this stuff I can show you. So I just think Solana is probably the better dip buy personally. Miklos, think about selling SMLR and Samara to buy more MSTR calls, 830, 1225 to get more MSTR in the end crash. Deal would be good if MSTR gets to 2000. Yeah, again, though, but 1219, 1225 is also right at the end of what the cycle has been historically. So it's a little dangerous on the time frame, in my opinion, but I also don't even know if do they even have like a September for MSTR? I don't even think they do. So, I mean, if you're trying to give yourself more time, that might be the only one you can do. Barack, Jesse, do you think the 10-year will touch 4? It could get up to 5, maybe. I mean, it can happen. If the narrative, guys, the way things are looking, I could see oil staying a little bit higher. I could see the 10-year going higher. Let's look at other stuff real quick. We haven't really done that. Let's skip the indices because I feel like we kind of covered some of that with the S&P and talking about the Dow Jones. But yeah, look at the dollar. It's continuing to launch off of this, which I hate. I wanted to see it roll over. It's not doing that. And so with the dollar gaining strength, there's probably a lot of ramifications to that. Let's see what's going on with gold. Are people going risk off? So the gold's actually up today. So it's kind of doing its risk off thing. What's oil doing? Oil looks like it's going to break higher. That sucks. We do not want that to happen. It's kind of stupid, but it seems to be a narrative people are interested in. So maybe it does. Should we sell BITX and buy MSTR? I don't know, man. You'll have to do you. I understand what Saylor's doing with MicroStrategy, and I understand his liquidation levels, and I have strong faith that it's going to be a great opportunity. So I'm not worried about it, personally. So again, this you could even make the argument, guys, on oil. I don't know if it's a great argument. Maybe it is that it wasn't in a descending triangle, and instead, just because the way the wicks playing with the wicks here, that it's falling wedge, and wedges that like this break out. They break up. They break up. So you could make an argument that this is actually. And let me just do this. I'll see if I can find a clearer picture. Yeah. You can make an argument that like this is what's happening and we're getting ready to break up in oil. So if oil's going up, the dollar's going up, and the 10-year, let's look at some of these others here. Let's look at the move. We're just going to grind through all these things that we don't look at necessarily every day. And the move index, so this sucks. We got a wick on here, and so bond volatility looks like it's taking off, and the bond markets are weird, guys. I talked about it last week and a little bit this week, but the Brazilian real does not look good with the whole South Korean dictator takeover thing that ended. That doesn't look good. In South Korea, their bonds don't look good. Or I should say their currencies don't look good. And then if we look over here, guys, let's just jump over to the Japanese yen. The dollar's gaining strength against it. So you got the Japanese yen carry trade unwinding narrative. And then we got the Chinese yuan, and we're gaining against the Chinese yuan. And it's looking at critical multi-decade levels that we're getting ready to break through. And let's see, how's the ruble doing? This will be an interesting one. And we're gaining strength against the ruble again. So we're gaining strength against everything, and that is not good. That is not good. But yeah, the 10 years up 0.72. It's honestly looking like a breakout higher. That sucks. Let's look at the 10-year. This is this kind of stuff. This is the kind of narrative we could see, guys, before people start to go, hey, Department of Government Efficiency is working. Remember, I drew this line and said, oh, hey, it looks like this was resistance, support. This is the line. Well, guys, it's support. So it's breaking up. Even though we have this, multi-year downtrend, at least for now, it's trying to roll up. And it could do that. The multi-year downtrend, this thing's been it's got a RSI downtrend going back to here. But could it do this before it goes lower? Could it get up into the fives? Sure. We could have a really shitty narrative starting at the beginning of the year where everybody freaks out. We get a nice washout in markets, and then we go higher. This is my thesis, guys. It was my thesis before, but I still thought we had a Christmas rally. I think the concern was, I think that turned into consensus. I think it turned into consensus that we would have a Christmas rally. And so all the leverage long just got destroyed on the triple witching last Friday. And then we saw a lot more of that too on Tuesday, early in the morning, right? They wiped out a bunch of long people. I could see it in the Clean Spark calls. I was buying that shit down like 20+% on the day. So like even after getting washed out on Friday. So I don't know. I think there's just a lot of stuff happening. Just like Clean Spark is in a wet. Yeah, let's look at Clean Spark. We can do that. So yeah, the 10-year looks like it's going higher, guys. Like there's just a lot of stuff. What's the inversion look like? And this is it says this was the 10-year 2-year, but I've switched it over to the 3-month. So we're uninverting in a strong way. On the 10, yeah, so we're uninverting in a strong way, guys. This is usually, I think it's going to be a bull steepening, but that's what we'll realize it was later. But for now, bears are going to feed off this shit. Bears, guys, they've been hibernating all winter, and they woke up for a second and realized they're hungry, and they're running around trying to find some food. And what I think is going to happen is I think they're going to find some food really quickly, and then they're going to fall back asleep again. But you got to realize they're hungry. Let's read here. Toby Wan. Oh, yeah, Clean Spark. You want to talk about Clean Spark? Let's do that first. Let's do a Clean Spark chart. Thoughts on Lunar? I don't really have any, Kevin, but we can pull it up. So we cleared this gap. That gap is dead. Fuck that shit. This isn't really a gap here. There are no gaps. There are no gaps that matter. Look at that. God, Clean Spark has been painful. What a bunch of bullshit. We were at $8. We got up to, oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. This cycle. What are we up this cycle? It's a little bit different. This cycle, December 2022. We are still up. Let's bring this down here. 500%. I mean, it's not total bullshit, but it's pretty depressing if you bought Clean Spark down here and then you got all the way up to here and you were up 1,300% and you didn't take any profits, and then now you're only up 500%, less than 500%, and you have to worry about it dropping lower, that sucks. That sucks, right? I actually think, you know what I think? You know what I think Clean Spark's in? You know what I think it's in? Let's just look here. I think it's in a bull flag. I think it's a bull flag. I don't think we got much further to go. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, guys, this is it. This is it. We're in a bull flag. I got to draw it a little bit higher to be real. And now it makes sense. Now the lines make sense. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. We like that. That's it, guys. We're in a bull flag. We're in a bull flag. It's a huge one. It's a biggie. So yeah, what could we see? 9. We could get into the 930 range maybe. This one actually might not drop as much as some stuff. It might not drop as high of a percentage as Bitcoin or close to it. It definitely won't be at a multiple of Bitcoin on the way down. This is yeah, hibernation snack. Exactly, Seedless. Oak, Jesse, why is it bad for the dollar to gain strength over other currencies? So there's a number of reasons. I won't go into all of them. Here's a simplistic one. If you're Tesla, and well, let's pretend let's say Tesla doesn't get right now. I think I'm trying to think of what their sales are outside internationally. They're probably like 20, 25. Do you guys remember their international numbers? If anybody knows off the top of your head, say it. But let's pretend like they're 80%. Well, if our dollar is stronger than their currency, where everywhere else we're selling, we're going to get less dollars back. So if you're an international business like a Microsoft, a Google, all these other businesses, and the dollar is gaining in strength, and the majority of your business is overseas, you're going to get hit. So that's just one reason. There's other things that deal with complexities of the dollar, grok them. But you want a weak dollar? Yeah, to export goods, or not even just export is a loose term. It doesn't have to be a physical good. It could also be like software or something else. But yeah, that's exactly it, Victor. You want a weak dollar for stronger exports. And we want to be a manufacturer. So it's a weird world to have a strong dollar. It actually gives us a lot of power to fuck with China and make them do our bidding. And this will be the thing I cover in the Michael Howell video, because that has Capital Wars. His book, guys, is all about talking about a thesis, using currencies and debt markets for these two factions to war against each other. And we have all the power right now. We have a wicked amount of it. It's really a great setup for the United States right now. But again, a weak dollar is better for stuff like that. And so generally, since so many of the U.S. markets have international exposure, you'll see that will affect the stock market too. And again, the power we exert by crushing these other markets also brings down just global markets, which drags us down as well. So there's a lot of impact that happens from too strong of a dollar. You don't want to see the dollar melt up. There's a reason. Look up the term. Ask Grok about the dollar wrecking ball. Ask him about that. He'll tell you all about it. I'm planning to buy TLT call 100 for January 2026 if the U.S. 10-year touches 470. What do you think? I don't know. I haven't looked at the calls. It's actually a really interesting idea, Brock. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It might not be a bad play. You got to leap, so you're not doing the TMF stuff, which is probably the right idea. And you're betting that over a year. Can you go out further? Do they have really far out ones, dude? Brock? Do they have like 2027s and shit? Because I almost would be curious about the 2027s because the bond market doesn't move as quickly. You actually, dude, just gave me. I love that. I fucking love that, actually. Yeah, bro. That's really the fucking way to do it. I was being lazy just thinking TMF, but I need to look. I need to look. That's a great fucking idea. That is a great idea. I don't know if it's a good idea, but it's a great idea. And I want to, I got to look it up and confirm. It's at least the idea portion of it is great. Whether the execution will be, I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting, dude. I will take a look. Definitely run the calculator if you haven't, Brock, and see what the multiple is. See if it gives you a good return versus the underlying. And I don't know if 470 would be the number. Can hear my daughter jumping around. Can't wait until I get a really nice house, so I don't have to listen to that shit. I don't know, man. I think 5. I think if it gets closer to 5, that's going to be the freak out point. And then that might look really interesting. But I like the way you're thinking, dude. You're thinking ahead. You're the kind of person that we need to have more of in our chat. That's brilliant. That's a really brilliant idea. Victor Hernandez, in fact, won't be a weak dollar. I will be a better exchange to help woke Europeans to purchase with our weak euro currency. Yeah, there's so much more that goes into all this, guys. I think I'll stop right there. So if you're here's one good thing about it. If you're in the United States and our dollar is really strong, you've got your time to travel. Let's just put it that way. Because a strong dollar means you go to Japan, you go to these other places, you can just buy everything. So it'll be you'll go way further with your money. So it'll be time to take vacations. If you ever wanted to take a trip to Brazil as their real is crashing, maybe now is the time. Of course, I don't know politically what might happen there. So if you talk shit about Brazil or any of their leadership over there, you might not do well. Raka Marudo Najam? I don't know. I probably butchered the shit out of your name. Thank you for joining. All right, let's keep going. There is a January 2027 only. Dude, you got me all excited. You got me tingly in the right places, Barack. That's interesting. I'm going to look at that today, actually. That's just such a great idea. That's such a great idea. See, I can only do so much on my own. I'm going in like, I've got a life, I've got a family, I've got friends, I've got things I'm trying to take care of, and I'm trying to look at like a billion things from macro to micro, right? That's the name. And so it's so great to have help like you guys looking at stuff like this. Mary Jesse wife's sister, Panama. She's actually already engaged. So no way. Panama, yeah. Panama would be great. Panama, it would be, I should actually go back to Panama here soon. We're planning a trip for Japan, I think, in early January, like January, February. I don't know. Whenever the Blossom Festival and all that stuff are, cherry blossoms, in 2026, though. That's kind of what we're thinking because we're too busy for this next year. We want to buy a house and stuff. And Japan is a long trip. You go there, you got to spend weeks. Plus the markets. I can't be gone for 2 weeks. There's going to be a lot I got to talk to you guys about. Max, what about your thoughts on Needham Growth Conference? I don't even know what the fuck that is. 1/14/2025, CleanSpark will also present its future strategy. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I guess we should probably watch that and keep up to date. I mean, I think all the other stuff I'm talking about matters more. Raku, hey Jesse, great to join here. I go by the name Rake. Oh, okay, that makes it easier. Thank you, dude. I'll remember that. Can you please share your thoughts about AMD? I don't know. I'm kind of worried. There's a reason why I sold out of all my chips, and I could be wrong, but I don't know how much. Do you guys know how much business like Nvidia and AMD and others get internationally? Because a strong dollar will hurt that. And but I love the idea of AMD fundamentally and financially. I like the forecast of AMD, and I think they could do really great. but they're in this falling, broadening wedge, right? And no matter how I draw this wedge, this is steep. So this thing could drop further. But I do think that chips are still going to be a good idea. The thing I don't know, though, and I even got to adjust this because this isn't true. You know what I should do? I'm just going to get, for now, we're killing that. Here's why. This is what we're doing. We're going to draw a Fibonacci retracement because I want to make sure I don't feel confident that we found the bottom. So if I don't feel like we found the bottom, I need to draw a fib retracement. And I'm going back to a fib retracement here. So this is the .618 though. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. This is the golden retracement zone. This is the zone where it should bounce and go higher. It could be an asymmetric opportunity. This is another one. I didn't really want to apply leverage to these things. And I want to see how Q1 does first. I want to feel really confident that my thesis is right, that we get a thrust down in Q1. And then maybe chips start to look interesting to me. But you can see where we fell through the .618, but then really turned it into support on the weekly and bounced up. Oh, excuse me. And we do have a lot of volume here, but that doesn't mean we couldn't get down to like 114 by the beginning of the year, or even lower. I don't think it would be much lower. 115 seems like a nice little volume shelf, and then there's another gap maybe into the 110. Worst case, like 107. I don't know. I think there's a lot less downside risk in AMD than there is upside versus upside potential. So I still like chips a lot, guys. I just have much stronger conviction right now in Tesla and Bitcoin. Much stronger. But this is something I want to keep an eye on. I think there's opportunity here. Geo from X says 2 days ago, exchanges added over 1.5 billion in Bitcoin, probably the root cause of the price action. Really? Do you have an article at all? Since you're on X, Geo, do you have anything you could show me? And I could maybe take a look at Glassnode. I don't know if you're looking at CryptoQuant. They actually weigh these things differently. Oh, here, let me go back. I got this in my favorites. I'll just go to my favorites. Nope. What's going on? Favorites? Bitcoin. So here's the way that they do it. Here's the way that they do it with Glassnode, but that is different than what we see from CryptoQuant. And what is this dated to? Does this go out to now? Yeah, it's now. So on crypto or on Glassnode, it doesn't show that. It doesn't show more money coming onto exchanges. But if you have something else to show, throw it out, dude. Scooter would be very interested on your Tesla chart thoughts. Thank you. Oh yeah, Tesla's fucking going to the moon. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, thanks. I'll take a look at that in a second here, Gio. So Tesla still has a wicked setup, and the fundamentals, guys. Like I said, when I was riding in 13, it is amazing. It's amazing. It is just fucking amazing. So out of all the things I expect to go down, Tesla's the least. I could see Tesla doing something where it bull flags. I could see something like this with Tesla. So I am not bearish on Tesla. We did complete our measured move, guys. So it's one of those things where we could test down, but Tesla's probably going to be amazingly resilient. So I think it's one of the things you need to sell the least of. And it could be something like this, where it's like this, and then it breaks out too. It could be. You just never know. We'll see where it ends up here. But again, we've completed our measured move in Tesla, guys. This was the inverse head and shoulders. We closed it out almost perfectly. So Tesla could just stop right here. It could stop right here for a little bit, grind for a few days, weeks, maybe into a month. It could be something where it ends up kind of doing this thing, and maybe into early January, and then it starts breaking out higher. But Tesla is so much more bullish right now. TLT leaps January 100, January 2026 and 2027 doesn't look asymmetric bet at calculator. Is it more than the underlying? I'll check it. If nothing else, to not waste time here with the options calculator, I'll check it later too. And let's just pull up TLT. What is TLT looking like? Mob says how much BTC sell is needed to move from 100 to 95? Virtually none. It doesn't take a lot of sell pressure. This is the weird thing about markets, and I'll explain it just a little more in a second, okay? So TLT is down another %, guys. I think maybe wait for a double bottom at 82 before you get... Again, I'm not interested in getting to TLT right away, guys. But if you did... The measured move for TLT and what I think it can hit is 120-ish over here. But that's out of this. I don't know if we're going to do that. It could be something else. But I think that if you're doing a 2027, I think TLT could actually get up to the 130s. To be safe, though, I personally would try and keep it like down here. Because if we zoom out, let's go to the... You got to go bigger on this because there's so much history. And maybe even a little bit lower. Let me do this. There's so much in TLT. And it takes so much longer to move. It takes years, guys. There's years in between here. That's the hard part. Maybe to be safe. Maybe 110 to 115 or something like that. I wouldn't go above 120 because of all the volume. I would keep it maybe here. But if you were doing an option, and let's say that we get down to here, let's say you get down to here or even lower. Let's say it gets down into the 70s, guys. Let's say it ends up doing something like bull flag, where it's a little bit lower here, it's a little bit lower here. I would wait until, like, personally for TLT, I'm waiting until like January, late January, maybe February, March, after we've done good in markets. Then I'm going to just look at Raku. I think it's like it's this next week for Tesla. Just ask it. It'll tell you. If you got Grok, guys, it'll tell you everything. Here, I'll show you. Let me just do this. But yeah, so I still like what you're saying. I still like what you're saying. Baruch. I always get your name wrong. Let me just see here real quick. Let me go back up. You're in here. It wasn't Raku. Barak. I still like what you're saying. I still do. I like your thought process. I think you'd want to go longer, though. I think 2027, maybe keep it between like 100 and 120. And then when are Tesla delivery numbers released? This is the answer to everything, guys. It's right here. So it's Q4 delivery 2023s. We're on January 2nd. So it looks like probably the beginning of January. January 2nd, probably. Does that help? So, but yeah, I still like your idea, man, because look at this. If we got up to, let's say this is like a 50% move, and I'm just going to do it. TLT, we're going to take a look here. You got me curious enough. I got to know. So, January 2027. You can do, let's get crazy. We'll do a 120. And then I got to recalc here. And I'm going to probably push this to 150. And then I'll put a real number, like let's put some juice in it. We're going to use this as a hedge, so we don't want to be crazy, right? We don't want to put in too much money. Oh, Grok is so good, Raku. You got to use Grok, bro. And Grok, this is just Grok 2, like major revisions in 2. Grok 3 is coming out the beginning of next year, and it's going to be insane. So let's see what we get here, guys. Let's see. Oh, these maybe aren't super great. Oh, no, fuck yeah, they are. Fuck yeah, they are. This ain't bad. So let's say in the next year. So again, the curve is a little steep in this one, guys. I don't love the curve. But let's say that 2 years have passed and we get up to 120. you get a 330% return for 40% upside. Now, I don't think this is something we want to use yet, though, because again, what happens, guys, if the current price gets down to 80 and we get a contract that's like 1.5? I think it could do that. So let's say we look at the same contract and the price got down to 80 or a little bit lower, and we got the contract for 1.5. And then let's just turn this to 150 here. And then let's run this shit and look at it. So I wonder if I fucked up the math on this. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. So let's say we get to 120 by August of 2026. Not next year, but the following one. 53% upside in the bond market would give you 421% returns. That's asymmetric. That's almost 10x, guys. And if it went higher, look at this. 1,400% for 75. And again, the bond market moves slower. Maybe by the time this really becomes interesting, there's June of 2027s out there. I don't know. But if this thing gets really cheap and the bond market still gets destroyed, and you believe the Department of Government Efficiency and Donald Trump are going to do a good job, and there's been a really wicked negative narrative, but you can see that they're getting it done, why wouldn't you fucking take this bet as insurance for upside? Because again, if they do a good job, and let's say that markets around the world struggle a little bit, people will go back to our bonds. And the defense bond thing that Michael Howell's talking about, he's talking about forcing people into our bonds, using our strong dollar, forcing Europe into them. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think this is a fucking great play. Did you see that BlackRock sold 190? They're going to sell, they'll be buying and selling, guys, as the market goes up and down, right? Like that's all they're doing. It's not their money. It's the people that are buying and selling, and they have BlackRock. Okay? So it's not BlackRock selling or buying. It's the people buying. So many people seem to get that wrong. This is a fucking great Barack. Thank you, brother. I love you. I love you, man. I love all you guys, but I love you especially the most today. You get to give Barack a fucking gold star, everybody. Give him a clap. We love you. It's a great fucking idea. Even if it's not that crazy, let's not steep in it. Let's keep it simple. Let's do this, Barack. Let's go back to that 100 you were talking about, because that's a safer fucking number, right? It's going to be a higher return. It's going to be a lower yield. That's cool. Let's do that shit. So let's say that for insurance, let's say I've made too much money. Let's say I'm at $10 million by March, April, whatever. Thank you for the clap, Macro Polo. I love the name. Let's say I put 200,000 in because I want to have some insurance, right? Like maybe I own TLT. Maybe I have $500,000 in TLT and I got 200,000 in TLT calls too, because I want some asymmetric return, some insurance in case the markets start to go down at the end of 2026 because of global liquidity fears. And let's say we only keep this thing at $100 because we want to be safe. If we get to 110 by October of 2026, you can make 178% off of a 40% move. But if we get up to 120 by January of 2027, that 50% upside move, you can get 304%. Does that not sound like the best fucking insurance company if you believe in Donald Trump and Elon Musk making America great again? It's a no-brainer. It's fucking stupid easy. So yeah, bro, you hit here. You hit hard. I would take a $600,000 gain off of $200,000 put in. Imagine that. And then the world falls apart and you got that insurance plan in there. And as the world's falling apart, you're just making money. Maybe I put $500,000 in this bitch. Let's just say that, right? Let's say that. Let's say that I don't even buy that $500,000 in TLT because this is just insurance. Let's say I've gotten over to 10 million and I want to put 5% in insurance. So I put it into TLT. I get 1,000 calls for January 2027 at $100 strike. And then let's just recalc here. Is this gonna recalc? You gonna recalc? What's happening here? Let me pick this again. It's kind of broken. Let's go into here. And again, this isn't even the lower price anymore because I readjusted this. These would be cheaper. Why isn't this doing it? It's taking a while. Oh, there we go. So let's say I get this even cheaper. Let's say that let's say the price drops because it's just been tough and people are betting on these less. Let's say it's 420. There you go. Great number. So let's say I put $420,000 into this. How poetic is that? And then we get to 120K. If I have 1.6 million, I make in insurance while the market, let's say the market bled 30% and I've lost 40% of my portfolio out of $10 million. So I lost $4 million. I'm down to 6, but then this thing gets me gets me 2 that I wouldn't have had. Oh, Fun Strats talking. We got Tom Lee, guys. We got Tom Lee, bitches. One second. Let me get over here. We got Thomas fucking Lee. One sec. Let's go back.
Can continue. 86% of respondents to CNBC's Delivering Alpha survey.
It's a good day.
Forecast more gains ahead for big cap stocks in the new year. Tom Lee, Fundstrat Global Advisors co-founder and managing partner, joins us now to break it all down. So
tell him, Tommy boy.
You've been right on the direction of the market for a long time now. Tom, you think the gains continue?
Yes, I think that there's a lot more tailwinds building for markets.
Interesting. So he's taking a different approach than his one of his technical guys. Interesting.
In 2025 than have existed in 2024, mainly because now we're not worrying about the Fed worrying about inflation and bringing a halt to the economy. We have an election that's behind us, and now we have a lot of cash on the sidelines, and I think companies finally having more courage and what I think we'd call animal spirits and a willingness to start to do mergers and other things that, like capital markets, that actually help stocks
I want to interview
next year.
him.
But
I love all that. Oh, let's see what she has.
and we were just talking about this. Treasury yields at the highs of the year.
Yeah.
Dollar
Good questions.
at the high of the year. Those two things have acted as headwinds for stocks in the past.
Yes, I mean, that's been a foil for markets to an extent. To me, I think yields, even at around 5%, still aren't really that damaging to markets because that means you're paying 20 times for a 10-year bond. And in some ways, I think, it's not clear why yields have been rising. It could be inflation. It could be the robust economy. It could be markets concerned about, the incoming.
They're concerned about the incoming administration and they're concerned about inflation. It's all the bears. It's the bond vigilantes. It's the shit happening with China. It's the Brazilian real. It's South Korea's bond market looking weird. There's a lot of weird shit going on right now, and that's why our bonds are strengthening because we're doing the dollar milkshake theory.
Administration's policies around tariffs, et cetera. So it is something I'm watching, but I don't think it's a foil even at 5%.
Interesting.
Tom, first off, Happy New Year. Good to have you on. How much is
the way
the
he
rest
thinks.
of the world's problems benefiting the United States? Sarah kind of alluded to it at the top, which is this is the place to be. The reality is the United States is the greatest economy in the world. The entire German DAX, their Dow Jones Industrial Average, you add up all the biggest companies in Germany, you total them all together, they are not as big as just Apple or Nvidia by itself. How much has Europe's woes, China's woes, how much has that benefited the U.S. economy, benefited the U.S. stock market, if at all?
It's hard to link causality. I mean, for a long time, as you know, outside the U.S., most of the rest of the world is small and mid-cap stocks. I think 95% of all listed stocks outside the U.S. are small and mid-caps. And I think it's the U.S. has really seen companies make the bets in the right places.
Thank you for checking
U.S.
that.
dominates technology, healthcare, and financials. Those have really been the strongest industries and the ones that benefit from technology, and the U.S. edge is enormous, right? I mean, outside the U.S., are there thousands or dozens of great technology companies? There really aren't. So I think
True.
In 2025, however, if industrials start to do better, then I think Europe and Asia start to outperform. But I think if it's a tech-led market, it's really going to be U.S.
Do you worry?
I would love to see the market go up today just from Tom Lee talking about it.
I mean, we showed some of these gains, Tom. Listen, you're Tom Lee. You don't worry about a whole lot of things. But I would say when we're looking at stocks,
They used to give this guy so much shit back in 2017. He was like the punching boy, especially after the markets rolled over. It's just so funny how everybody looks at him as an oracle now. It's great. I mean, it's well deserved.
that are up 550% and 300%. Okay, there are paradigm shifts which will bring in a lot of money to new things. Is there any part of Tom Lee, not the drummer, that does worry that things are a little bit
Not the drummer.
a little bit hot at 40 times forward earnings on many of these, like an Oracle, a name that we didn't talk about much for years?
I mean, at some point, valuation becomes a liability when the market isn't able to be surprised or the market has overpaid for future growth. But to me, the last couple of years is really a story where investors have been underpaying for technology and the amount of innovation. I think 2025 is a year where we're going to find the AI and a lot of these applications actually do sort of re-architect the way America does business, and it's vastly cheaper, and that's why these companies are doing so well. But you're right, Brian. At some point, it's a bubble. I don't really think that that's the word yet, because I don't find that much ebullience in our clients. I think our clients are still pretty skeptical about valuations, which is why I think valuations aren't really a problem just yet.
I mean, he's got a good point. It definitely, and also too, if you just look at what's happening in AI, robotics, and autonomy, it's really, really positive. But I don't know that doesn't keep us from rolling over in the first half of the year. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we haven't really gotten the Christmas rally yet. We've kind of gotten the Christmas bounce, but we haven't gotten the rally yet, in all fairness.
One point I'll just raise on the skeptical note, which is on the call for small caps, Tom, which a lot of people were on the small cap bandwagon this year, and there were times where that really worked, but I don't know if December's a preview of what's to come. Small caps are still down 7% in December as the S&P has gone flat. NASDAQ far outperforming on the year, the small caps. Everyone hoped this was the time where the rally would broaden out, but then when the Fed pared back how many rate cuts it was going to get next year, small caps didn't work. So what makes you think that this will be the year?
Well, that's a really fair observation, Sarah. Small caps really are probably the best expression of when they believe the Fed is cutting for the right reasons, and there was a rug pull in December. I do think your viewers have to keep in mind small caps may not have hit escape velocity yet, but their underperformance for the last decade is 91 percentage points versus the S&P. It's the second worst 10-year underperformance since 1998.
To be clear, I'll let him finish his thought on small caps, but for small caps to do well, we need rates to come down. So as they're climbing, we're going to have problems. If they can start to roll over, that's going to help the real estate market. It's going to help the refinancing markets across all sectors of the economy. And that includes smaller companies that might be holding off on CapEx, that might be holding off on growth for fears that they won't be able to replace or repay their debts in the future. Because again, like Michael Howell says all the time, we are living in a world of debt refinancing because the world is so indebted. We need lower rates. So I agree with him. I think small caps have greatly underperformed markets really since the dot-com bubble for the most part, but definitely the latter half of this decade. And it's something where that can get better with lower rates.
And then before that,
which I still see coming.
Not necessarily bullish. I mean,
well, actually, it is very bullish,
right?
Sarah. It's super bullish because if you go back to 1900 and use FAMA data, it's the
Yeah, remember, you're just a commentator. You don't actually know enough about this to make money.
second worst in history. If you take the three worst instances, never have small caps underperformed the next 3 years or 5 years. So what we've done is essentially discounted so much bad news. There's so much skepticism. I think almost everybody that talks about small caps says, well, they haven't worked, so they're not going to work. They're trading at a 10 forward PE. They're going to benefit from deregulation. 49% of small caps are cyclical stocks, which are really primed to do well next year. So I think that the probabilities for a very good year are high at a time when skepticism's high. I mean, isn't that what Fang?
I got to dig through his Granny ETF and see what's all in it and what looks interesting from like a small cap standpoint. And if you guys have ideas too, you'll have to throw them out and we'll have to talk through them. I'd be very interested to see what kind of smaller cap opportunities we can find heading into the rest of this year outside of, the crypto and the Tesla and all the other stuff. If there's any other gems that we could get that might be good opportunities.
Was at the start of 2023. I remembered how many people said, put a fork in Fang at the end of 2022. They're done. And they just put in the 2 best years I think anyone could have ever expected.
Sentiment is key. And by the way, Fang having a great year this year and a great month too. Thank you, Tom Lee. Appreciate it. Happy holidays. Good to see you. Still ahead, How will companies use AI in 2025? Goldman Sachs has some new predictions. We'll bring them to you next.
I don't know. I mean, Tom Lee just made it sound like maybe we're still game on, but he did not say Santa Claus rally. He just said we have a lot of really positive tailwinds and that people are too pessimistic about what the upcoming administration is going to be able to do, how small caps are going to perform in the new year, what the Department of Government Efficiency is going to be able to do. But he didn't scream Santa Claus rally on here like he normally likes to talk about. So I don't know. I don't know if he's just kind of repositioning, because you have to do that, right? You're not always perfect with expectations. And I showed this earlier where one of his technicians, Mark L. Newton, for his daily technical strategy was talking about, again, market breadth not being good across markets, about the Dow Jones underperforming the NASDAQ and the S&P. And again, we can see that we got this flush too in Bitcoin over the weekend. And it doesn't have to, or I should say over the holiday, like from Christmas, where it was up and everybody was happy, to being down this morning. But how's it sitting right now? Let's look. I think it's good. It's good to bridge Michael Howell's thesis in short term with M2 liquidity, but also Tom Lee's 2025. Yeah, I think they both hold a lot of weight. I agree. I 100% agree. I think we still, that's actually my thesis, right, Anthony? Like my thesis is, I think we see a flush and then I think we see a pop. That's what I'm thinking right now. Oh, and this is interesting. So this is Goldman Sachs. These guys were bearish forever. Let me find something real quick, guys.
Specific type of industry.
I want to do something. I want to go back a little bit here. So this is the Goldman Sachs CEO, or not CEO, but like a guy who talks about their AI predictions. I don't know if he's a CEO or not, but I want to hear what he has to say real quick, okay? Just 1 second here.
Talked about what happened this year. He said right now in AI, it feels like the emergence of cloud when he was at Amazon, but faster. He says he's never seen anything like this.
So this is very interesting because Goldman Sachs for a while, guys, was definitely had a bearish cap on the economy for parts of 2023 and 2024 when they probably shouldn't have. So it's very fascinating to hear them talking about AI and about how this is happening, like the cloud computing days, and how exciting it is, and kind of getting bullish.
In terms of the pace of development, said the biggest surprise this year was this tech moving beyond things like chatbots into multimodal, which is pretty much a fancy way of saying
Dario,
AI that generates images and video. Says that next year, Fortune 500 companies are going to start to deploy this in a much more impactful way, and it eventually will evolve into what he calls a new hybrid workforce with AI agents working alongside people.
And before he answers that, guys, so in a second here, I want to go over some Tesla-related news and maybe just to highlight a couple of other things real fast. And then we'll probably just look at more charts after that. There isn't a lot left in the economic data. We do get an update on M2, but I don't even think that comes. Money supply comes out at 10. I'll be gone before that. I'm not sticking around for over 3 hours here. So we'll finish this up, this AI conversation. We'll jump into that, and then maybe look at a couple of tickers like Dario for Apple and maybe some others too.
You might think of a future of a workforce where you're going to have managers that are going to manage both human employees and AI employees. You might have the role of human capital management functions that are going to become human and machine capital functions that are going to be working on both evolving the career of humans and also evolving the career of AIs.
Argenti says there will be an emergence of AI experts that have a very niche, specific type of industry knowledge. So think of banking, for example. In the case of Goldman Sachs, he is expecting major robotics breakthroughs as well. Says AI safety is going to become a bigger priority on company boards, not just for regulators. And then large language model commoditization, he says we're going to see, he described it as many cars, fewer engines. The engines here being the underlying models. As that happens, the data the companies train off, he says, are going to really start to emerge as an edge, guys.
Is it going to change the world now, or because it doesn't seem like it's quite ready for prime time?
That's because you're a fucking idiot. God. Goldman Sachs is bullish for Tesla now. Are you serious? All right, let's pull this. I want to go to Tesla real quick. And again, we'll get back to some of these tickers. There's just a few things I want to make sure I cover. First off, I've got a Tesla Model Y. My wife has it. Just look at this, dude. Look at this accident right here. Which car did you want to be in? Which one, guys? Can you tell me? What about this one? Which car did you want to be in? Look at this. Which car did you want to be in? I can tell you. All right, here. This is X, but I got to talk to it. This is, everybody talked about blue sky. Everybody's going to blue sky. It's going to be the new thing. Oh, Granny is made up just to large caps, not small. Wait a second. You're telling me Tom Lee, the small cap guy, doesn't have a small cap ETF, bro? What the fuck? All right, cool. But yeah, so look at this. This is showing pre-election to post, so you can see how Blue Sky was doing all right, getting a decent amount of daily records going in, and it's just falling off a cliff. Total follows, total likes, all these things are going down, 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 down. This site is going to be like, do you guys remember this company? Do you guys remember this product? It was called Threads. It's from the small company called Meta. Does anybody fucking talk about Threads anymore? No. Nobody gives a fuck. This is fascinating. So look at this, guys. This isn't all of European sales. This is about 60% of them. And what I want to show you here is the green is Q4 of 2023. So you can see the rollover and how that just really sucked heading into 2024, right? I've traded TNA. No, I know that. I know there's TNA. Danny said there is an SMID Granny list from Tom. It's a separate list, but not an ETF. Top one he recommends is MicroStrategy. Okay, great. All right, that's good to know. Thanks, Danny. But yeah, so it's weird that he doesn't have an ETF though for that. You think he would. But anyway, so Q1 of 2024, you can see in this like orangish brown how that looked better. And then you could see in red, Q2 of 2024 was really, really strong into the second half here. You can see they did really, really good. And then in Q3 of 2024, it wasn't quite as strong, but it's ramped up pretty good. And then Q4 in pink looks stronger so far than all of them. So it's just showing that European sales are actually doing really good, even though there's places like Germany and the UK where things are a little bit weaker. It looks good. It looks good, guys. Also, even though China is a shit show, we have Sawyer Merritt saying Tesla's mega factory in Shanghai is nearing completion of construction in preparation for the planned operation in the first quarter. Construction took 7 months for groundbreaking to complete, 50% faster than Tesla's California Megapack. So, and again, he should have said Megapack factory, mega factory. I don't know, maybe that's what they call it. But this is for them to be able to start expanding their energy division in China. I think that's going to be huge. I think it's coming. I'm very excited about it. Let's see here. Bagia. Hey, Jesse, I follow you since a year. Thanks for your content. You're welcome. Roman, the miners are small cap. That's true. That is true. That's actually a good point, Roman. I don't know if he's recommending that too in his little small cap thing. Chanso, he posted this. He said, my Tesla drove my family for an hour and 20 minutes on Christmas Eve to pick up my family and drive us back home from downtown Toronto. My Tesla is 6+ years old. He's got a 6+ year old Model 3 and it's doing this today. Just buy Tesla today and start living in the future. And again, it just does everything. It just does everything. The bell, the bell, the bell, the bell. Let's get to the bell. We don't want to hear it yet, though. It's all the act of hearing it, right?
crowd here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange day after Christmas. We're looking at the opening bells in the CNBC real-time exchange here at the big board. Columbia University football team celebrating its Ivy League championship.
Ding, 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 ding,
over
ding.
at the NASDAQ.
There you
Make
go.
a wish, granting wishes for children
There you go,
with
guys.
critical illnesses.
All right, so let's see how things are still refreshing
work
here.
That they do. Just looking at the opening trading here. Look, we had a good day on Tuesday.
Tuesday was good.
That was a day that the market closed early. That was the technical start of the Santa Claus rally. We're opening with declines today. The S&P
Yep.
is opening about a third of % lower, and every sector's down in the early
casino
action.
is open.
So I don't want to be the
Still waiting on parts of it to refresh.
the angel of doom on the
Ooh.
first full day of Hanukkah, but here's the
I
thing.
don't either.
There was a note out, I think it was BTIG, forgive me, whoever it was. If the market does not rally between now and the first trading day of January, so the next 4 or 5
What happens?
4 or 5 days, it doesn't bode well for January. January
Yeah.
tends
I
to be
agree.
down. So these next 5 days, and this is all history, folks. Some people say it's voodoo.
Seasonality.
Something.
Can't believe I actually agree with that guy. All right, so the VIX is popping. Not exactly what you want after Christmas. And the thing that's doing the best out of the Bitcoin side is shorting it, which is rare, but it's there. The MOVE index is up, so bond volatility is kicking up. Hang Seng's actually up today, if this is right, which is weird. Oh, we're updating. So it looks like our chip's still getting a bid. Let me refresh here. So we got a few things getting bids, but I don't know, man. It's not looking super good. BitDeer's up 2.76%. Don't know why. Maybe there's news. BABA's up 0.55. Silver's up. Gold's up. SMCI is up 0.5%. I don't expect that to last. This is pretty much it's like what I said earlier, guys. It's like a market go down kind of day. Palantir's flat. Palantir is one that wants to roll over, guys. I know I've been wrong on this one, and I know the Palantir bulls don't want to fucking listen to me here. But I said this last week. This is when you fall. This is when you fall. And right now it's sitting right above that fib level. This is when you fall. And I don't know where it needs to go. I mean, it could go here. It could go to 45. There's just no volume. There's literally no volume from like 45 to like almost 47. Yeah, I think it's all going down today, guys. Timber. Let's see. I got to go back over here and make sure my calls, or make sure my the position that I was trying to take. Where did it go? I just lost it. All right, I guess I'll check that later. No, there we go. It's back up. All right. I need to check to see if my order. Yeah, there's my order. So I got it at 286. 286 for MicroStrategy. So I'm going to buy some more around there. Like $250,000 maybe. If it hits it. Might actually drop that to like a lower number. I'm patient. I'm a patient kind of guy. I like a deal. I like a sale. So yeah, anyway, so I don't think today's an update, guys. I think we're rolling over. I might think that so much that I might even dial back a little bit of my, because I'm still got, I don't know. I really don't want to sell MSTR. I'm up 27% on it. I'm going to, though. As weird as this sounds, just as a short-term trade to open up a little bit of liquidity, I'm just going to sell a little bit. Just 100K. Just a spoonful of sugar. Just because I believe enough in the back test and the potential for us filling that gap. So I'm taking a bet against Tom Lee and his optimism today, guys. It's not a small one, or it's not a big one. I'm a little under $1 million right now in MicroStrategy, probably, or close to $1 million. And then I've got all my other shit still. Clean Spark is down 2.82%. BITX, that 2X fund for Bitcoin, is down almost 8% on the day. A lot of the AMD's down. ARGT's down. Everything's down. Is there anything else I should sell for chips? I think I sold most of my chips. I did. Okay. And then DLO's in here, but what's the fucking point in selling that? Curious what charting platform are you using? Oh, it's always TradingView. It's the only way to chart. TradingView is it, guys. I should have, at least on YouTube, I think I reference my referral links. I think I have them on X too, up in my pinned post at the top, right over here. I think. Let me see. Do I? Yeah. So if you click that referral link, I don't know if they still give you a discount code. If you're going to pay for it, like use it for free. Use it for free first. And then if you want to sign up and use it, like if you want to get the paid service to get like more charting and like things you can save and all that stuff and like more updated time and all the different things that come with the higher levels of service, you can look at it. Use my referral link. But I love it. It's the only one. It's the only way. Like Robinhood's doing their thing too, but it's just pales in comparison. It's not the same. If I was them, I would have integrated TradingView more. That's what I would have done. Unfortunately, GME is up 9% today. That's not a good sign. I'm always suggesting to Fidelity to partner with TradingView to offer. Yeah, dude, why don't more companies do that? Why reinvent the fucking wheel when you have TradingView? It's just stupid. Breaking, Tesla rolling out 30-day free trial of FSD version 13. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to sell more MSTR. I know this sounds crazy, guys, but I don't know. I just think it's a good idea. I want some dip buying. All right, so I've sold $280,000 worth of MicroStrategy. All right, so yeah, Tesla is rolling out. There's a reason I'm not selling the Tesla today. Tesla is rolling out 30-day free trial of version 13. That's awesome. Everybody that sees this is going to be just looking at it more. I love Navalism. Naval. It says to get paid in the future, live in the future. I love that. That's so Tesla and everything Elon touches. Dr. Jack said, and this is the company that Warren Buffett would rather invest in than Tesla. I think I showed this the other day, but essentially a BYD plant had slave labor conditions in Brazil, and so they ended up closing it. And I don't know. That's kind of sad, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm always suggesting to Fidelity to partner. Arcat. Let me see here. All right, I want to keep going. So Tesla, I don't know if I have a lot more. That was it for Tesla. Let's look at, let's just see what else I have here. If there's anything else that's good. This is 100% right. We should be doing everything we can to attract top global talent. Let's build a super team to win forever. Elon said, it comes down to this. Do you want America to win or do you want America to lose? If you force the world's best talent to play for the other side, America will lose. There's a lot of people that are talking about like the skilled labor that we get, especially like there's a ton of people from India, doctors and everything else that we pull in and allow to come into the country and get visa programs. We want that, guys. We want that. I don't like to look at GameStop because I don't like to look at garbage, but I can probably pull it up for a second. Department of Government Efficiency, there are 23,000 employees working for the Federal Reserve, making an average of 300,000. Somebody said Grok said this was like closer to 100,000. I probably trust Grok more. Either way, though, if there's 23,000 people working for the Fed, I have no fucking idea what they're actually accomplishing. It's a joke, and we could get rid of that entire group. And can we do that? Can we get rid of that entire group? Yes, we can. Listen to this. Here's Vivek.
The U.S. president has sole authority to set the HR policies of the federal government. When an agency should not exist, we can go down the list. The U.S. Department of Education, the FBI, the IRS, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the ATF. We'll go straight down the list. When those agencies should not exist, I will not make you a false promise. I don't think you should believe any politician who does to say that we'll reform that agency. Once it's come into existence, it's a creature of its own. It's its own Leviathan. You cannot tame that beast, but you can kill it. You can shut it down. And I think that is, again, something that the U.S. president is constitutionally empowered to do.
He is. He is. And they do have that power. And so, again, when you're listening to these guys talk about the Fed and other stuff, could they kill it? I don't know. They might, man. They actually might. So I just encourage people to understand what our government is capable of and what could end up happening, because I think it's important. All right, 1 second here. I'm just updating the Discord too with the trade I just did. Give me 1 second here. I want to make sure that people are aware of what's happening. All right, there we go. Now I've done my duty. I didn't do a duty, but I did my duty. All right, so anyway, that's the Department of Government Efficiency. Not too much going on there. Altcoins, I did just want to point this out real quick. So again, this is just Bitcoin and Solana reached all-time highs in monthly trading volume last month, showcasing their growing dominance. Meanwhile, Ethereum lags at 50% below its 2021 peak. What's next for these crypto giants? And so again, if you look here, Bitcoin, orange, way up here. I don't know why they use different color codes. That's kind of weird. Oh, just to show accelerating versus not keeping up. I don't think you can really accurately... Oh, because it's higher than its previous high. I don't know. I don't like the color charting there. But yeah, again, so Bitcoin doing much better, above its previous highs in volume. And then Solana above its previous highs in volume. And then Ethereum not even getting close there. But again, I think Ethereum can play a catch-up trade and do all right. It's just a much bigger market cap. It's not going to do as well as Solana. Also, DJN said Solana daily transactions hit a new all-time high. So this is showing a bunch of different things. It shows Ethereum too. It is sad, guys. Ethereum is not even being used anymore. It's down here. It's just fucking dead. Tristan said Brazilian digital payment company PAGS down 90% from all-time high. Revenue net income at all-time high, might be worth monitoring. That's because of the Brazilian real. Nubank is getting destroyed. Everybody that's over there right now is getting destroyed. MicroStrategy is going up a little bit, guys. It's up, or it's only down less than 2% right now. So we're seeing a little bit of a bounce in markets. I don't trust it. And this is my gut speaking. Yeah. So I placed my bet. Bullish, BlackRock spot Ethereum ETF bought 12,830. So again, you got this ETF kicking in for Ethereum. So don't count it out. Just maybe be assured that it's not going to do as well as something like Solana, because just if nothing else, the market cap, not to mention the fact that everybody uses Solana. Omid, that transaction count for Sol versus ETH is misleading. There's a huge amount of transactions on Sol that don't carry the weight as transactions on ETH. You'd have to elaborate more on that or give some kind of post that I could reference on that, Omid. And again, total volume on altcoin transaction volume is just non-existent, which is why a lot of people think the altcoin rally hasn't even happened yet. Let's see. Sell high to buy low. Lower play, I assume. Yes. Detail on today's stream. All right. Okie dokie. Let's just go back over here. So let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about, and then we can look at a few more charts. I think I owe somebody, what was there were a few of you asking about things. Is PayPal going down to 75? All right. Why did you sell? Does anybody watch this? Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway. Bitfarms is up 6. Congrats, man. That's really sweet. I hope that turns out well. Did they have news? Or is it just a bounce? Let's look over here. Let's take a look. Yeah, I don't feel like today is going to be good, or the remainder of the week. Let's see here. So let me sort one more time. BitDeer is up 5.26%. Bitfarms, I don't even see Bitfarms. Do I not have it on here? I don't remember taking it off. 1 second. No, Bitfarms is down 0.71%. Dude, are you talking about BitDeer miners? Most of them want to be spoon-fed. Don't skip Jesse's. Dude, it's kind of important to, like, yeah, again, and I get it. People are short on time. I get it. But It's like at the same time though, if you don't, this is where all the meat is. Bitfarms is down almost 1%. It's not up 6, miners. It's not up 6. BitDeer is up 6. That's this one. So, not quite the same thing. Neo is up today. You can tell. So people are pumping into Chinese markets because of the conversations about $410 billion in liquidity. Because Baba's up too. Oh, God. What a mess. So we're going to be like, China's going to do good and don't invest in America, I guess. Do I still have SoFi? I think I kept SoFi, which is good. I think that's actually a good bet. I would drain that bitch in a second, though, if MicroStrategy dropped into the sub 300 range. Not going to lie. I do have 50,000 in SoFi. Cool. Cool. All right. What do we have for stocks, guys? You guys want me to look at something? I'm getting a little tired here and a little bored. Probably going to bail in a while. Will Trump create Bitcoin reserve in the first 100 days? I think he might do it in the first day. But if he doesn't, what will Bitcoin do? What will Bitcoin do? So about, what is it, 2.5 weeks? Almost 3 weeks from now, we'll have that. We'll know in 3 weeks, man. But I don't think it hurts to have a little bit of cash. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Dario. I knew it was something. I was forgetting. All right, 1 second here. Let me pull up the book of Apple. Or Apple. Or what is it? Apple. Book recommendations on crypto. The Bitcoin Standard. My guess, here's my guess on Apple. Maybe it can get up here. This is the dot. It is literally getting towards the golden retracement zone. I would be cautious on Apple. Man Mahandra says, I have 60% of my portfolio in cash. I'm waiting patiently like a crocodile. Cool. Well, I hope you get your moment to strike, bro. I think you might actually have it. So I would have given you shit like Tuesday morning when I was telling people like, hey, we're going up soon. And I was doing buying. But yeah, I won't today. I won't today. Got my cash ready for Hood, MicroStrategy drop. Yeah, those are good ones, man. Those are good ones. Kane, kind of motivating me to move out of miners. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, man. I just, again, I could be wrong. I can be wrong, guys. This isn't a huge amount of money that I just moved. I moved like, I don't know, 4% of my portfolio, 3. I don't know. It was a low number. It's a low number of my money. And I just moved more of it to cash. So right now, as far as cash goes, but again, some of it was meant to pay bills, I'm probably sitting on 9 to 10% cash. So it's not me like getting the fuck out of everything. And I still have my Clean Spark that I bought on Tuesday. And I have Mara and I have Iron. I don't have Bitfarms anymore. So I don't have a lot of Bitfarms and Cypher. Those are like dust. But I do have Clean Spark, Mara, and Iron. Those are my 3 mining plays right now that I'm sticking with. Jesse, how confident do you think MicroStrategy to fill that gap? 80%, in my opinion. 70 to 80% based on my thoughts right now. I'm more confident that they'll fill that gap than we are that we'll get a Christmas rally. That's my take. So, doesn't have to. 30 packets. I was so happy to finally sell my Riot stock at 14.15 and get out alive. I couldn't take the roller coaster anymore. This is not an easy game, 30 packets. It's not. And miners have underperformed. I still have like $1 million, I think, in miners. Probably more. So I'm still pretty heavily involved in miners. But here's the thing. I just would rather be safe. Right? Financial freedom. I'm 10% in cash for the first time all year. I have dry powder. I got a feeling we're gonna use it, dude. I can be wrong. I'm not a god. I'm just a normal fucking person. But I do think I'm pretty good at analyzing markets and understanding them from a lot of different levels. David Gallo says, good, I will slam it. Rake, says, planning to add Clean Spark here. Okay. I'm looking to add Clean Spark. I think Clean Spark can still drop. I'm down 30% on my calls. Boy, they've gotten butchered. Oh my God, they're down 9% today. Everybody's giving up on these calls, but I think there's further downside. I might just buy it just a little bit though. Feel dumb not buying just like a little bit, especially with all the cash I'm sitting on. At a 115, these are down. The calls, guys, on CleanSpark today are down 9.5%. That is pain. I might just put a hair into it. The stock is only down, what, 1.5%? The calls will probably wash out the most. So I'll put a little bit into that CleanSpark. What the hell? It's just a baby amount. We're just babying it. Yeah, so to be clear, Apple, I would be getting the fuck out soon. And maybe we make it up to 265. Again, the shit is going up. I'm going to sub to you, Jesse. Oh, thanks, David. Alejandro says, quantum AI will be the most used phrase of 2025. God bless you, Alejandro. God bless you. Meet you, Kaku. I love him, actually. He's great. And it is a technological revolution with many of them. Yes, I agree. It's just not one that's making money or probably going to come to fruition for years. And so you're just liquidity in the meantime. That is still my take. That has not changed. I do want to short some AI. Which ones have done the best, Alejandro? I should probably short some AI. Is Ionic one of those? Let's see here. Maybe that'll be a good short play. Oh, gosh, it's sitting right at that fib. That's pretty parabolic. The problem is the shorts probably don't even pay enough. I might look real quick, though. Maybe we'll do that. So this thing's up 615%. That's a pretty good run. Pretty good run. It's not like, honestly, Palantir's run harder. So Palantir's like up here. So this thing could go higher. I don't know. People are stupid. TNA, a tiny bit. I have heard from a few people now that quantum computing is showing... Yeah, no, I know. Showing real promise and actually coming to fruition aren't the same. I saw the same post. This is interesting, though. Let me just see. What is Ionic? Let's see, 25. 25 is a good support zone. So if I was going to short this bitch... Not that I'm going to at all. I think there's plenty of other better plays right now than to go after this. But I'm just curious. Oh, no, I want to do this, though. Long put. Oh, something's being weird here. Dude, that's weird. Is that me or is that the site? Let me refresh it. Whoa, what is happening? Oh, there we go. Long put. There we go. Ionic, I'm just curious. If we say, oh, that's all we got. Let's see. I probably want to get into something less. Would I want it to be a January 31st? No, I wouldn't want to be that close. I want to give it more time. Maybe a mid-year? Everybody would be afraid that the sky is falling, right? So let's say a 5. All right. So let me just real quickly. I'm just taking a look. It's probably not going to be worth it. Yeah. See, everybody's already betting against this fucker. This isn't even worth it, guys. This isn't the risk to reward for shorting this thing. This is the problem when everybody knows about something. There's already too many people in the trade. So like this isn't even something that's worth shorting. It's just something you watch. MicroStrategy down 4.11% right now. CleanSpark down 2%. Market starting to roll over. Kind of happy that I have over $500,000 in cash. Not gonna lie. Kind of happy. Sitting on almost $600,000 in cash right now. TTWO. What is that? Twilio or something? I don't know if I have one. We're getting near 9, guys. I think I'm probably going to call it here. I do think, again, the prevailing winds to me are down. I don't think it's the end of the world. I do think it's a decent time to have some cash. And if I get some nice buy orders filled, then great. Then great. I'm going to be patient though. I'm not super aggressive on getting in. I do have an order for about, I think it's $230,000 around the 280, 285, whatever I put it in for. Jesse, please explain the selling pressure on BTC from 90. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that real quick. So it doesn't take a lot actually. So here's all it takes, Mop. All it takes is fear. The amount, the volume of selling pressure that it actually takes to drive the price down could be a really like a small number, enough money to drop the price hard on one exchange and then to see a cascade on others. But the amount of money that it takes can differ. And this is a concept that I don't think a lot of people understand. But it could be a small amount of money because all price of these things is people negotiating on a new price. You could actually not have like the 1987 Black Monday. It didn't it just plummeted in an instant, not off of tons of volume, but just people agreeing on a new price. And then the volume picked up and then it picked up and then it picked up. But the cascade lower to have like a major drop, the start of it doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes people agreeing that, oh shit, I'm scared. And then some people trying to short the market that are like, I'm going to short the market. And then enough volume for people to agree on a new price and for exchanges to balance out across all of them in the world, right? That's the amount of volume it takes, just enough for the exchanges to agree on their new price. And that doesn't have to be a ton. That's why you could have a market cap shift by a couple $100 billion. But does that mean that people sold a couple $100 billion? No, it doesn't. It could be a lot less than that. But everybody agreed that the price was much lower. This is a concept that I think a lot of people just do not understand in the investment world. But it's a super crucial one to get. So it doesn't take a lot of volume initially to have markets just go fucking crazy. Anyway, I think we'll end it on that note. So I hope that helped with the answer, Mop. But yeah, CleanSpark. I did like the CleanSpark chart, guys. Don't forget, I wasn't hating on CleanSpark. I actually like CleanSpark's chart. And just as far as the fact that it's going to be hard for it to drop too far from here, because I think what we're in is like a bullish. Oh, and I might have set a flag. Bullish pennant. Sometimes my brain doesn't work. A bullish pennant. We're in a bullish pennant. So I think we could get down into here like this next shelf, maybe into the 9s. But I think after that it goes up. I think it goes up. So I don't know if we just get a flush out. Maybe the Christmas rally is just a Christmas fuck you. And then markets kind of suck a little bit into January until the selling's done. And then we get a rally. Maybe January ends up being a lot better in the second half once Trump becomes president and they start to see some action. It's kind of where I'm leaning. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope everybody does well today, and I hope markets. I hope you're positioned well and things do all right for you. But otherwise, I will talk to you later. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I might see you online in a little bit too. But I'm gonna chill and just kind of enjoy life and enjoy my holiday weekend. Because I'm taking one. Anyway, peace out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.